Hello, everyone. I am Sean, and welcome again to my Horror Corner. As always, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you tuning in again. And thank you to those of you who have subscribed. You guys' support, your encouragement means so much to me. So thank you so much for all of that. Today, we're continuing along. Excuse me, I can't talk already. We're continuing along talking about Welcome to Derry, the series on HBO Max about Pennywise. Um, Quickly before I get into this episode, let me say that if you've listened to some of my previous episodes and you're watching this show, you know that I enjoyed probably the first. I liked the first episode. Started enjoying episodes 2 and 3 more. 4 was fine, but I thought a little bit of a letdown. Episode 5 that we're going to talk about today, my favorite episode yet, and we'll get into why. But I feel like this episode really picks up and things really start to take off. One thing in particular, one thing in particular that we'll get to, but just the entire show, in all honesty. So, welcome to Derry, episode 5, titled 29 Nebo Street, directed by Emmanuel O.C. Cofer Jr., if I'm pronouncing that right, written by Brad Caleb Kane, and it was released November 23rd of 2025. Let me put my glasses on so I can read my notes, and we'll get into this. But we open this one up with Halloran and Taniel. Right after Halloran has got into Taniel's mind and at the end of episode 4 and kind of seeing where that went, we see that Taniel's pretty shaken up by this. They have to take him off to a medic. Shaw and Leroy are there. Leroy wants to know what's going on. Shaw finally tells him he'll give him some answers. And then we then cut to Marge in a hospital and with only one eye now after what she went through in episode 4. And her talking to Lily, her apologizing, telling Lily that, she believes them now and that she wants to help, that Lily won't be alone in this anymore. That's kind of what we have going on here. From there, we cut back to Shaw talking to Leroy and basically telling him about these pillars and what he knows about the way the entity has been trapped, and that this entire mission is to get those 13 pillars, that he wanted to get those 13 pillars so he can capture this entity. He reveals the plan for Leroy and other soldiers, including Halloran, Daniel will also go with them, are going to go to this house on Nebo Street where they found out these pillars are, and get them. We also then go back to earlier I did leave something out. Sorry, I completely missed that. Also, in that opening episode or opening scenes before the opening credits start, the kids go back to their meeting place and discover Maddie there. I failed to mention that a while ago. So the kids go back and Maddie, who had disappeared back in the very first episode, is there at their meeting place, very shaken up, asking for help. They've been talking to him, and he reveals to them that now that he has been in the sewers with the clown. And he says that while the other kids are dead, that Phil is still alive there. He just can't get away. The other kids want to get the cops involved so that Hank can be set free, but Maddie refuses. He says no cops, because he would rather go back to the sewers than go home. And if the cops get involved, he's going to be sent back home to his dad. So yeah, that's kind of where we are with that. We then cut to the natives. Let me stop there for a moment. So I like the way this has started. This episode has started. I like the opening scenes. That it looks like Leroy's finally going to get some answers. I like the fact that Marge, after what she went through, she's still alive, but now she wants to help Lily and kind of become part of this group, that's trying to figure everything out. And then I really liked the fact that we see Maddie and believe that he's alive now. Spoiler there, the way I said that. And the kids talking to him and finding out what's going on. And, we hear Maddie talk about the clown. So I really like the way this is opened up. I like this beginning. I think it's fun, and I think it instantly pulls you in because, again, like I said, episode 4 was okay. I just thought it was a step down from what we had been getting. And so for this one, I felt like episode 4 was a lot of storytelling, which is fine. But I feel like this one even though we're setting everything up for this episode, it's really pulling us in. It's very intriguing. And so I really liked the way this episode started off. From there, we get to the natives, and they're discussing this entity, discussing how we are coming near the end of its 27-year cycle. And so we're in for a very violent, bloody event to come before this entity will then disappear for another 27 years and rest. And what they need to do. Um, we also find out that Hank is being sent to Shawshank. Someone shows up and almost kills him, but the police prevent that from happening, and Hank is put on a bus to be sent to Shawshank. Um, Leroy goes and tells his wife. We don't really get the conversation, but it's hinted at that he tells his wife everything that he has found out from Shaw. Rose shows up to talk to Shaw to try to talk him out of his plan and what the military is doing, but he refuses. And so then Rose decides that she wants to help and reveals that she has the dagger that we heard about in earlier episodes to help protect and fight against this entity. Rose goes to see Taniel, who is going to end up going with the military to the house, and she gives him the dagger. So to try to help with that and to keep him safe while they're there doing this. And then Leroy, trying to protect his family, ends up taking them to base. Again, just some storytelling here, nothing really major happening. I mean, everything's fine, nothing bad occurs. And I don't feel like that it slows down. I was so excited about the way it started. I don't feel like this is really a slowdown process. It's just more of kind of the story and the setup that we've got to get through to get to the next part. So it's fine. Performances are good from everybody. And then things really start to pick up because Charlotte sees on the news that the bus to Shawshank crashed, that Hank escaped. We also see that the kids, now with Marge, are preparing to go to the sewer. Basically, Lily tells Maddie that he's got two options. They're going to go to the sewer to try and save Phil, or they're going to get the cops involved. And so they're preparing to go to the sewer to try and find Phil and save him. And, that way they can get him back and prove Hank's innocence. We also see the military arrive there at the house on Nebold Street and begin their mission of going in. As they're getting in and getting started, Halloran begins to start hearing things. He then goes into kind of a vision where he's talking with his grandmother again. His grandfather shows up with this box that supposedly has kind of the way this vision is playing out is within this box is Halloran's powers and his ability, and the grandfather wants it opened, and Halloran's arguing, saying no, he won't open it. There's just kind of a lot going on here. You sense that this is not really his grandfather. But this is this could be the entity trying to get to Halloran. Kind of a lot going on there with them. Again, action feels like it's kind of picking up. The soldiers end up then getting attacked there as they've gone into the house and gone down the well. So they're in the sewers now but they're as well, and now they're getting attacked and separated. We several soldiers get killed. The kids, we cut back to them. And they're all, they've got Lily's mom's pills. They're taking those to try to help them stay calm and be able to fight the fear, believing that if they're down there and they're not afraid, then the entity can't do anything to them. We also get a moment where Taniel, with everybody being separated the way they are, decides to try to run and escape and get away. But in the process, he ends up losing the dagger. Again, more setup here, but I really feel like things are starting to pick up because you see, everything is coming to this head now, this finale of this episode that we've been leading to this whole time. And while I really like the way this episode has gone and the way the story is being told in this episode, you kind of get an excitement now as we get to, or I felt like there was an excitement here as we get to this finale, because we've got the kids in the sewer looking for Phil. We've heard mention of the clown being in the sewer. We've got the military down there, but they're battling and getting separated. We've got Halloran, who seems to have disappeared, falls in the water in the sewer, and the soldiers can't find him, but we see he's having a vision and he's involved in his own battles. So we're really kind of, everything is coming to you just get a sense that everything is coming to a head here, and it's going to be really exciting. So again, I was really enjoying this episode, enjoying the way everything's being set up and laid out, and some of the things that were mentioned and done here, and you can just kind of feel that we're heading to a big moment. And then we get that. We get back to Halloran's vision a little bit, but we start to see the pills affecting the kids negatively. Like they took too many pills, and so that now all seem like they're high, they're drugged up, and it's really bothering them and keeping them from being as focused as they need to be. Um, we also see that Leroy and Polly are, part of the military team that's gone there to the house and gone down in the sewers. They've also been separated, and Leroy sees a vision of Charlotte. Polly doesn't see her, but Leroy sees her. However, she doesn't appear to be herself. She also appears to be some kind of a monster and almost attacks, and so he shoots at her, and then looks like he kills her, but then she again looks like a monster and runs away. And so, Leroy reminds Polly of something they said when they first got in there, that if you see something down here that doesn't look like it belongs, you shoot at it, because things down here aren't real. We cut back to the kids, and they began to find the bodies of their friends, the ones that were killed in the beginning, including the body of Phil, who Maddie had said was alive. And it's at this point that we get the coolest moment of the series so far, the moment that I think a lot of us have been waiting for, as Maddie then begins to start singing a song and acting strangely, and then Maddie transforms into Pennywise, and we finally get Pennywise here in Welcome to Derry. And it's great. It's great the way they do it. I love this transition. I love the way Maddie transforms into Pennywise. It looks amazing, and then you get Pennywise on the screen, and it's so cool. I said before one of my other reviews of this series that while I've always liked Pennywise, I never put Pennywise on the same level as like the Freddys and the Michaels and the Jasons and Ghostface, Leatherface, Chucky, all these slasher icons. I never really had Pennywise up there with them. But I'm telling you, this series is causing my love of Pennywise to grow, and I absolutely love this scene where he's finally revealed now and Maddie transforms into him. The kids take off running to try to get away from Pennywise. Lily falls and gets separated from the rest of the kids. And then we come back to Leroy and Polly, and they begin to hear the kids, and the kids are coming towards him. And Leroy, thinking that it's just another vision that he's having and something that's not real, he gets ready to fire. But Polly sees it too this time. And so Polly, knowing that they're both seeing the same thing, knows it is real. He ends up stepping in front of Leroy to try to keep the kids from getting shot. And in the process, Leroy shoots Polly. And then Polly, he talks to Leroy for a moment, but then he ends up dying. Leroy then, gets the kids that are there, and they try to take off after he gets to have a few words there with Polly. And then we cut back to Lily as Pennywise is chasing her, and just as it looks like Pennywise is about to catch her, actually has caught her, she's kind of trapped, and we get a really cool scene again of Pennywise. He kind of transforms for a minute back to her dad, and then is back to himself, and starts coming at her very quickly. It's a great looking scene. It reminds me of a scene in the movie where Pennywise starts moving very quickly towards the kids. This scene reminds me of that. I think it looks so good. I don't want to say it scared me, but that's it. I was just like, yes, this is it. This is so cool. But right as Pennywise gets to her, we discover that one of the pillars is there, and the pillar stops Pennywise from attacking and eating Lily. And Pennywise has to flee because of this pillar that's there. We also then cut to Hank, who, last we heard had escaped when the bus crashed. Hank goes to see Ingrid, Lily's friend. And Lily had visited her earlier in the show as well. But they kind of set it up like Hank knows maybe who Ingrid is, but it becomes very clear before they reveal that Ingrid is actually the married white woman that Hank was having the affair with. They reveal that to you, but I feel like it comes very clear before they actually reveal it. I mean, it hits you like, oh, this is who Ingrid is. So that is given away. Ingrid is wanting Hank to come back home with her and let her try to protect him because she knows everyone's looking for him. But Hank mentions to her that there is someone else that can help. And so then Ingrid goes to visit Charlotte. We then cut back to Shaw and Leroy talking about the things that have happened. Leroy tells someone about Paulie's death, but doesn't necessarily tell them the truth, doesn't tell them that he shot Paulie. Shaw goes to talk to Leroy and apologizes, and talks about how much he hates the fact that Paulie died, but he tells Leroy he has some questions, but Leroy stops him and says, look, I just want to go home and be with my family. And then Shaw decides to let Leroy go. And then at the very end, our final scene is we cut to Halloran, because Leroy does ask Shaw if Halloran escaped. And Shaw mentions that Halloran never reported back for duty. They don't know if Halloran made it. But then we see Halloran come out of the sewer. But as he comes out of the sewer, he looks and he sees Paulie's dead body walking around. And so we know that Halloran's still having some issues from being there in the sewer. And that's pretty much episode 5. I absolutely love this episode. As I was saying, I think this is the best episode so far of the series. Yes, the reveal and finally, I guess reveal is not the right word, but yes, finally getting to see Pennywise is a huge part of it because I absolutely loved it. But I just felt like this episode stepped it up and went to the next level because the first episode was good. Second and third episodes were good, and we were getting some cool things and seeing that this series is really going to go there in some places. But I felt like episode 4 took just a little bit of a step back, was a little bit slower, and was just a lot of storytelling, which again, storytelling is fine. I appreciate good storytelling. I just felt like after things we had gotten in the first few episodes, that episode 4 was a little bit of a letdown. But this episode gets right back up there and even surpasses the other ones, in my opinion, as the storytelling is done masterfully. The performances are great. As I said, you get the feel the whole time that we're leading to something bigger, that something's about to happen, which it does. And then I guess we, again, finally get to see Pennywise, an amazing scene where Maddie transforms into Pennywise. Great scene where Pennywise is chasing Lily through the sewer. Just some fantastic stuff done there. And again, I find myself, I mentioned previously that I felt like as I was watching the series that I was enjoying it more and more. Felt a little let down after 4, but after watching episode 5 tonight, I'm like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. I love this series. This is so good, and I cannot wait for episode 6. So, I feel like if you're watching this, you probably are watching along with the show because you don't want everything spoiled for you. If you're not watching the show and you're just listening to me talk about it, I definitely encourage you to go back and watch this show. It may have some slow moments here and there, but trust me, it all builds up and it's all worth it. Episode 5 tonight, again, so good. Now I'm actually recording this on Tuesday. I know it came out on Sunday, but I'm recording this on Tuesday. The episode will drop on Saturday to give everybody, time to watch it before they listen to this episode. But if you're one of those that you haven't seen it yet, I know I've spoiled a lot of things for you, but trust me, go back and watch it. It's definitely worth it. I highly recommend this series. It's so good. Episode 5 just has me more invested than ever. So, yeah, that's episode 5. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I say it every time, but I love the interaction with the horror community. I want to know what you think about this. If you're watching it, are you enjoying it? What did you think about this episode? What did you think about finally getting to see Pennywise? Share with me your thoughts on episode 5. I want to know what you think. And again, I love the interaction with the horror community. That's part of why I have this channel. So yeah, I highly recommend that you go check it out. Great stuff coming. I didn't bring my calendar in here with me to record this, but I do know there's some great stuff coming next week. I believe, trying to think of exactly what it is that drops next week. I believe I have an episode. Isaiah from the Bitter Wolf will be back with me. We'll be wrapping up our run through the Black Christmas franchise. We've talked about the original and the 2006 remake. We're going to be talking about the 2019 version of Black Christmas. I also have Kelly and Sarah from the Final Girls podcast coming on. We're going to be talking about the classic slasher Alice Sweet Alice. So those two things are coming next week. Yeah, so, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so you don't miss anything. Some great episodes coming next week. December, got a lot of fun stuff planned as well. My next live will be December 11th. We're going to be playing Black Christmas Trivia on December 11th. I'll be the game show host and asking the questions, and I'll have Brendan and Sam from Our Life in Horror on. Robbie and Kaylee from That Horror Couple will be on, and Bo and Kayla, Critic After Dark and Miss Critic After Dark, will be on, and it'll be the couples against each other in some Black Christmas trivia. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That, like I said, that'll be my next live, so I hope you'll join me for that. Follow me on social media. I do try to follow back as much as possible. I'm on pretty much everything out there. Just search Sean's Horror Corner. You'll be able to find it. But yeah, I'll wrap up this episode. Again, I'll be back in a few days with Isaiah to talk about Black Christmas from 2019. Hit the like button, leave me some comments, subscribe, share the videos, help me to continue to promote and grow the channel. Again, your support, your interaction means so much to me. So thank you all so much. I will see you soon.